What's up, guys, and good morning. Today we're going to be talking about the rear humming noise or roaring noise in the back of your Subaru. This is something Subaru's came out with a technical service bulletin, a document describing a commonly reoccurring problem. We'll learn all about the problem. At the end, we'll talk about the price, and we'll go through the official Subaru document. With all that said, let's go ahead and get started. It's a wheel bearing and shield. Go ahead.
If your Subaru has a persistent rear-end hum, mechanics use electronic chassis ears or a coil spring vibration test to confirm a failure in the rear axle hub. This low-frequency drone can quickly escalate into a harsh metallic grinding sound that resonates through the entire cabin. This video will walk you through the technical reasons behind this widespread issue and how to perform the repair yourself. We will also reveal the exact diagnostic trouble codes associated with this failure and break down the final repair bill at the end of this video. This issue affects a massive range of vehicles from 2006 through 2025. It impacts the Tribeca, WRX, Forester, Ascent, and Outback, along with other popular models. When the howling sound first begins, many drivers make the common assumption that their rear tires are cupped. Others suspect the rear differential is running low on gear oil or suffering from ring and pinion wear. They often spend hundreds of dollars on wheel alignments, tire rotations, or differential fluid flushes without fixing the root cause. If you ignore the noise, the failing bearing will eventually develop significant physical play inside its housing. This excessive movement allows the integrated tone ring to wobble away from the wheel speed sensor. This physical misalignment often triggers diagnostic trouble code C0030 or C0038, which points to a rear wheel speed sensor malfunction. Once these codes register, the computer will instantly disable your vehicle's all-wheel drive, traction control, and eyesight safety systems. Subaru addressed this widespread failure under Technical Service Bulletin 03-96-25, which is filed under NHTSA document number MC-11017444. The manufacturer's original hub design has a critical structural vulnerability that allows moisture to easily bypass the inner seals. Road spray, mud, and road salt penetrate the outer boundary of the hub assembly during normal driving. Once water enters the bearing cavity, it emulsifies the lubricating grease and strips away its vital protective properties. Under heavy cornering, the original outer ring's short shoulder height fails to support the seal during lateral suspension deflection. This deflection creates a microscopic gap in the seal lip, allowing even more environmental contaminants to enter the bearing races. Without a clean film of lubricant, the steel ball bearings experience intense boundary lubrication conditions. This lack of lubrication causes micro-welding and adhesive wear, leading to rapid pitting along the bearing raceways. Over time, the hardened surface metal physically flakes off in a destructive process known as spalling. This raw metal-on-metal contact creates the characteristic harmonic hum that increases in volume with your vehicle's speed. If left unaddressed, the continuous heat and friction can lead to complete bearing seizure or catastrophic wheel separation. To permanently resolve this issue, the entire rear wheel hub unit must be replaced with the updated factory part. The repair process begins by raising the vehicle safely on a lift and removing the rear wheel assembly. Next, you must unbolt the rear brake caliper and its mounting bracket as a single unit. Use a heavy hanger hook to suspend the caliper assembly from the rear coil spring. Never let the heavy caliper hang by its rubber brake hose, as this will damage the internal lines. Remove the brake rotor to expose the face of the hub and the central CV axle shaft. Before removing the axle nut, you must use a hammer and a pin punch to unstake the locking collar. Use a heavy-duty breaker bar and a deep socket to break the axle nut loose and remove it. You must now push the splines of the CV axle back through the center of the wheel hub. In rust-prone regions, galvanic corrosion causes these steel splines to seize solidly inside the hub's splined bore. Use a specialized hub press tool bolted to the wheel studs to safely push the axle shaft inward. Never hit the end of the axle shaft with a steel hammer, as this will mushroom the threads. Once the axle moves freely, you must access the back of the suspension knuckle to remove the hub bolts. Use a long extension and a swivel socket to remove the 4 heavy bolts holding the hub assembly. Before attempting to remove the hub, unplug and remove the delicate wheel speed sensor from the knuckle assembly. Leaving the sensor in place during hub removal almost always results in the sensor body getting crushed or sheared. Because the steel hub body is pressed into an aluminum or cast iron knuckle, galvanic corrosion will have fused them together. Bolt a slide hammer or a heavy-duty hub extraction tool directly to the wheel studs. Apply firm, repeated force to shock the seized hub out of the tightly toleranced knuckle bore. Once the old hub releases, you will see a heavy buildup of rust and scale inside the knuckle opening. You must use a wire wheel, a die grinder, or emery cloth to clean this bore down to bare metal. Any leftover corrosion will prevent the new hub from seating flat, which causes severe rotor runout and premature failure. Apply a very thin film of high-temperature anti-seize compound to the inner bore of the clean knuckle. This protective layer prevents future galvanic corrosion and makes any subsequent hub replacements much easier to perform. Carefully slide the new redesigned hub unit into the knuckle, ensuring the splines of the axle align perfectly. Reinstall the 4 mounting bolts through the backing plate and tighten them in a diagonal, step-by-step pattern. Use a calibrated torque wrench to tighten these bolts to the exact manufacturer specification found in your service manual. Reinstall the wheel speed sensor, slide the brake rotor onto the studs, and mount the brake caliper bracket. Thread a brand new factory axle nut onto the CV shaft and torque it down to its high torque specification. Use a flat chisel to stake the new nut's collar firmly into the keyway slot on the axle. Subaru's newly designed rear hub units feature 4 critical engineering improvements to prevent future moisture intrusion. The updated assembly includes a raised shoulder height on the outer ring to prevent seal deflection. The ball bearings themselves now feature a deeper induction hardened surface layer to resist corrosion-induced spalling and wear. Additionally, the unit utilizes high-performance inner seals packed with a specialized, highly hydrophobic low-friction grease. For Japan-built models, which include the Forester, WRX, Impreza, and Crosstrek, the correct updated part number is 28473VA012. For American-built models, which include the Ascent, Legacy, and Outback, the updated part number is 28473XC00E. If you have this repair performed at a local independent shop, the average cost ranges from $395 to $535 per side. If you choose to have a factory dealership perform the service, the final bill will run from $595 to $795 per side. Have you experienced this annoying rear-end hum or grinding noise in your own Subaru? Let us know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe for more detailed diagnostic breakdowns.
Dun dun dun. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out our document. Ba-boom. I'm gonna have to pause. Nope, didn't have to pause. So I'll scroll through this kind of slowly so you guys can read it, see what's going on. It'll have, make sure my audio's on. Yes, it has all the stuff. There's your technical service bulletin number, shows the vehicles affected. It's the backing plate and the wheel hub that they said, hey, we needed to redesign this in order to stop this from happening over and over again. There's a warranty claim. Now a lot of these are older, so I don't know if you'll still be under warranty. Labor time's like an hour or an hour and a half. So it's not a huge, massive job. It's not going to be thousands of dollars repair bill. Well, if it's both sides, I mean, you could hit $1,000. We saw the prices there at the end. So, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's video. Thanks for joining me on my kart ride. I swear I'm not driving. Anyways, I appreciate it. I love making these videos, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.